Pashtunwali or Pakhtunwali is a non-written ethical code and traditional lifestyle which the indigenous Pashtun people follow. It could be said that it is simply a system of law and governance from the prehistoric times when humanity was completely illiterate or unable to use written instruments such as books, and is preserved and used up until modern times but mostly in the rural tribal areas. Some in the Indian subcontinent refer to it as Pathanwali. Its meaning may also be interpreted as the way of the Pashtuns, or the code of life. Pashtunwali dates back to ancient pre-Islamic times and is widely practiced among Pashtuns, especially among the non-urbanized Pashtuns in the countryside. In addition to being practiced by members of the Pashtun diaspora, it has been adopted by some non-Pashtun Afghans and Pakistanis that live in the Pashtun regions or close to the Pashtuns, who have gradually become Pashtunized over time. During the Pashtun-dominated Taliban regime, Pashtunwali was practiced throughout the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in conjunction with the Taliban's interpretation of Deobandi Islam. Overview. The native Pashtun tribes, often described as fiercely independent people, have inhabited the Pashtunistan region since at least the first millennium BC. During that period, much of their mountainous territory has remained outside government rule or control. This is perhaps the main reason why indigenous Pashtuns still follow Pashtunwali, which is a basic common law of the land or code of life. Although it predates Islam, the two have become inseparable for many Pashtuns, even though in practice Pashtunwali codes often contradict the unregistered trademark and. Such is the case with the Pashtun practice of dividing inheritances equally among sons. Even though the unregistered trademark and clearly states that women are to receive an equal share. Pashtunwali rules are accepted in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and also in some Pashtun communities around the world. Some non-Pashtun Afghans and others have also adopted its ideology or practices for their own benefit. Conversely, many urbanized Pashtuns tend to ignore the rules of Pashtunwali. Passed on from generation to generation, Pashtunwali guides both individual and communal conduct. Practiced by the majority of Pashtuns, it helps to promote Pashtunization. Ideal Pakhtun behavior approximates the features Pakhtunwali, the code of the Pakhtuns, which includes the following traditional features: courage, revenge, hospitality, generosity to a defeated. Pashtuns embrace an ancient traditional, spiritual, and communal identity tied to a set of moral codes and rules of behavior, as well as to a record of history spanning some 1700 years. Pashtunwali promotes self-respect, independence, justice, hospitality, love, forgiveness, revenge and tolerance toward all. It is considered to be the personal responsibility of every Pashtun to discover and rediscover Pashtunwali's essence and meaning. It is the way of the Pathans. We have Melmestia, being a good host, Nonawati, giving asylum, and Badal, vengeance. Pashtuns live by these things. The Pathan tribes are always engaged in private or public war. Every man is a warrior, a politician and a theologian. Every large house is a real feudal fortress, every family cultivates its vendetta. Every clan, its feud, nothing is ever forgotten and very few debts are left unpaid. Winston Churchill. Main principles. Although not exclusive, the following 11 principles form the major components of Pashtunwali. They are headed with the words of the Pashto language that signify individual or collective Pashtun tribal functions. Melmestia, showing hospitality and profound respect to all visitors, regardless of race, religion, national affiliation or economic status, and doing so without any hope of remuneration or favor. Pashtuns will go to great lengths to show their hospitality. Nonawati, derived from the verb meaning to go in, this refers to the protection given to a person against his or her enemies. People are protected at all costs. Even those running from the law must be given refuge until the situation can be clarified. Nonawati can also be used when the vanquished party in a dispute is prepared to go into the house of the victors and ask for their forgiveness. A notable example is that of Navy Petty Officer First Class Marcus Luttrell, the sole survivor of a U.S. Navy SEAL team ambushed by Taliban fighters. Wounded, he evaded the enemy and was aided by members of the Sabre tribe who took him to their village. The tribal chief protected him, fending off attacking tribes until word was sent to nearby U.S. forces. Nyang or battle, to seek justice or take revenge against the wrongdoer. No time limit restricts the period in which revenge can be taken. Justice in Pashtun law needs elaborating. Even a mere taunt counts as an insult which usually can only be redressed by shedding the taunter's blood. If he is out of reach, his or her closest male relation must suffer the penalty instead. Battle may lead to blood feuds that can last generations and involve whole tribes with the loss of hundreds of lives. Normally blood feuds in this male-dominated society are settled in a number of ways. Chura, a Pashtun must defend his/her land, property, and family from incursions. He should always stand bravely against tyranny and be able to defend the honor of his name. Death can follow if anyone offends this principle. Sabat, Pashtuns owe loyalty to their family, friends and tribe members. Pashtuns can never become disloyal as this would be a matter of shame for their families and themselves. Kega to the first or Shega to the first a Pashtun must always strive for good in thought, word and deed. Pashtuns must behave respectfully to people, to animals and to the environment around them. Pollution of the environment or its destruction is against the Pashtunwali. Grow, contains wider notion of trust or faith in God. The notion of trusting in one creator generally comports to the Islamic idea of belief in only one God. Pat, Yai to the first or May to the first honor, Pashtuns must demonstrate courage, Uuomu. Their pride, Uyusho Kilm, has great importance in Pashtun society and must be preserved. They must respect themselves and others in order to be able to do so, especially those they do not know. Respect begins at home, among family members and relatives. If one does not have these qualities, they are not considered worthy of being a Pashtun. Namus, a Pashtun must defend the honor of women at all costs and must protect them from vocal and physical harm. Nang, a Pashtun must defend the weak around him. Heward, a Pashtun is obliged to protect the land of the Pashtuns. Defense of nation means the defense of Pashtun culture or Hasob, Uuo, countrymen or Heward wall, Uashuo terahertz Uoom and of the self or Zan, Uoom. This principle is also interconnected to another principle denoting the attachment a Pashtun feels with his or her land or Zmerka, Uum. See also Pashtunization, Pashtun culture, Pashtun people, Pashtunistan, references. External links, Pashtunwali by Ward Momand, Special Report on Pashtunwali by U.S. Army Major, John H. Cathell, Harvard Law School, Tribal Law of Pashtunwali and Women Unregistered Trademark S. Legislative Authority, The Pashtunwali's Relevance as a Tool for Solving the Afghan Crisis by Craig C. Noman, The Economist, The Pashtuns Tribal Code, Pashto Language and Identity Formation in Pakistan, Afghan Wiki.